What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hopeful Romantic Podcast. I'm your boy Dropping Dimes, and I'm here today. MyaVibez is out for a minute. She's dealing with some stuff, some work stuff. The life of a successful uh, single mother. But she'll be joining us shortly, so hopefully we'll be able to get everything started. Um, okay, as a matter of fact, here she comes. Hey, what's going on?
Hello, hello. I'm so sorry I'm late. Lots of great things going on over here.
No problem.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm excited about today's show.
Yes, me
We have
too.
some really, really cool topics, and it kind of happened organically. And I might not have sprung this one on you because it kind of came last minute,
Mhm.
but it was a conversation that was sparked on another platform,
I'm having
and
some. Let me just, while you're talking, fix my computer here, okay?
not a problem. Take it easy.
Go ahead.
Do what you got it. Yeah. No, that's what I was. I started on another platform, and I put out a meme on Instagram. I do that from time to time. Just put out a meme, and I'll put my 2 cents down, my dimes
Yeah.
on what just a little description down below on what I mean by what me posting it personally.
Uh-huh.
And one of the things is
There we
talking
go.
about one of them is talking about a relationship and a good woman in your life, and when you find one, basically keeping her happy and letting her know what she means to you.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy part about it is when I uh, when I posted that, a couple of people made comments, and
Okay.
the question that was posed was, well, if she's the one, or if he's so happy and whatever, and they'll still cheat on you, why do men cheat?
Mm.
The women were basically asking when a woman gives her all, when she does everything for you, and she's there for you through thick and thin, why do men cheat? And the truth
Because it's not
is,
about the woman, right?
well, that's what we're going to get into. We're going to pose the audience the question first. We're going to talk to them about it and see. Hopefully, we get some people to chime in because, like I said, it's such an interesting topic. We're also going to talk about another topic, and this is based off my book. Um, it's a couple that grows together, and
Mm-hmm.
it's basically um, posing the theory that people have to grow individually as well as together. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
That's
and I find that a lot of people don't really understand what that means, or they don't get it. And I want to kind of give my theory on it and what I mean when I say that.
mm-hmm.
And also to tell them that it's not just about growing individually. And this is based on a lot of conversation, a lot of research that I did for my book. So it wasn't just that I grabbed it out of thin air. It's a lot. It was a common thread across people that were dealing with that situation. And then the other thing is a question from my inbox that
Another one. I love
yeah
it.
yeah that I think we're gonna have a good time answering that and going over what they have to say with that. But first things first, I want to hear what your theory is on why men cheat.
I've thought about this long and hard for several months now, and I think that it doesn't have anything to do with the woman. I think it's just the kind of person that he would be, where they're dissatisfied with some aspect of themselves, whether it's finances or living situation or whatever their issue is. I think it's more on them. However, I have seen this and I've experienced this where sometimes a woman gives too much, where you inundate them with emotion that they're just not equipped to handle, right? So it's easier for them to exit and go elsewhere where the demand isn't so strong on their psyche. It's just what I'm assuming. Um, and I think when you encounter stuff like that, you have to be strong enough as a woman to understand that nobody ever runs away from an abundance of love, right? If you're giving somebody an abundance of genuine love, nobody runs away from that. People run away when they can't handle for themselves that amount of goodness and great energy that you're bringing to the table. So I learned to understand that it is never about the woman. However, obviously, if the woman is like over the top jealous and crazy and stuff like that, then I would imagine that that would make a contribution to a guy trying to go elsewhere. But when we're talking about, there's really no other reason outside this person's, and in the Latin community, you're cooking and you're cleaning and you're doing, you're loving and you're doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing, and still this person needs to find an escape somewhere else. That's not on you, that's on that person.
You hit a lot of it on the head, all right? But I think this is a very nuanced. There's a lot of levels and layers to this answer, all right? I don't feel like it's an answer that can be given. A lot of times I'll put out generalizations, right? And I'll just assume, oh, this is why this is happening, and I'll kind of put blanket statements on, right? And these are this is one of the conversations why I feel like it's, I absolutely, although I have my theories and I have my thoughts on it, this is absolutely one of the conversations that I feel it's very layered. It's very nuanced. There's a lot to it. It's about the phase the man is in his life. You see, one of the mistakes people make is they look at a 40-year-old man, a 40-year-old person, a male, and they look at him and they think he's a man. The truth is, you can have a 40-year-old boy or a 25-year-old man, all right? And when you get into his life, this has a lot to do with a conversation we had previously. A lot of times, all the signs are there.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you've already painted the picture in your head as far as what you want your life to look like and what you want it to feel like, and you kind of overlook a lot of the things that happen. I always like to say, and this is, it's a cheesy answer, is men don't cheat, boys do.
That is so true.
Boys still do cheat. A boy, for clarity, is a man, all right? It's going to be a man hopefully one day, but it's somebody who's really looking for something, searching for something. And a lot of times they do it outside of themselves. It's that fulfillment. All right. So you'll find a boy, a young man, right? A boy, and he's at a phase in his life. I believe, and again, this is going to be way off. This is my opinion, and I'm not afraid to put it out there. I'm a believer that a young guy, right, in his 20s, has no business getting married this day. It's not like before, back in the day, where 18, 19, 20, people were settling down, getting married. Now I feel like, no, not now. I feel like 20s.
I think that's young. For me personally, I think a guy should get married at 30.
Well, I don't. You see, again, I don't put a timeline.
If we're gonna put a time on it, I would say, like, okay, I'll just give you conversations that I have with Andrew. Andrew's like, Mom, I'm not getting married till I'm 30 years old. Right. And I'm like, why? So he's like, because I want to live my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I'm like, I said, but tell me about your reasoning. And he says because he wants to be financially stable. He wants to have money in the bank before he brings a wife into his life. This is exactly the conversation we had the other day. I was like, sounds good to me. And I'm thinking to myself, if my autistic son is thinking this way, there must be something to it.
No, absolutely. Like, I really feel like as somebody got married early in their 20s, I got married early in my 20s. And what I started to see was that a lot of my friends in their 20s were making mistakes. They were learning, they were finding, they were really doing that whole self-discovery thing.
Yeah.
I got married in my 20s and I skipped that phase. Completely skipped it. I was 100%. I was way more mature when I was 23, 24 than I am today. Way more mature. As a matter of fact, way more mature, way better with money, way better. My thinking was weird,
You were
right?
just coming out of the womb.
At that age, I was right.
You were
And
still
I thought the
influenced by
natural
mommy.
step was marriage. And what I found was you can't skip the phases. If you skip the immaturity phase, the mistake phase, for some reason, I feel like it eventually catches up to you. And you're going to
Yes,
have to
that's
relive
so
that
true.
phase.
That's
I
so
find
true.
I find the same thing with women that have children at a very early age. When their kids are just enough independent, they want to recapture that phase in their life and
Let me tell you, here
experience.
you go. My hands up on that one.
Yeah.
I had Andrew when I was 28. So I got married 4 years before that, 24, right? And I got married. He was older than I was. So when I turned 40 and I started going through separation, divorce, whatever, I felt like, man, I've not lived my life. I need to catch up and have some fun. Like, I haven't, because I was so young when I committed to this relationship. Do I regret it? No, I don't regret it because obviously I have my son. But in retrospect, right? If hindsight is 2020, if you were able to see yourself at this age and give yourself some advice, you'd be like, don't do it. Go easy, calm down, play the field a little bit, select a little bit better. Like, you know what I mean? Just chill, get your career straight, and then move forward, I think.
So it's just one of the reasons I find men kind of at that age step out, right? It's like they've had enough. It's like I never had that opportunity. I need it, and it's very selfish. It's extremely selfish because now you've committed to something. You've already brought somebody into your life, and you basically hurt them because of what you feel you need. I deserve happiness,
Right.
which is honestly a decision you should have made before you grab somebody into your life and tied them up. But let's talk about what is now, what could be, what should be. And that's part of what it is right there. It's like I started too early. I committed too early. I should have never done this. I need to explore. I need to meet. I need to have experiences. I need to meet all different types of women. I have all kinds of sex. I need all that. And sometimes it's not even about that. Sometimes it's just about fulfilling something else that you need within yourself. That leads me to the second thing. A lot of my friends, I know guys that are just playboys, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're playboys, man. And especially if you're a married man or in a relationship, they come around, they flash how many chicks they're with and how much fun they're having. And it's crazy because after some serious conversation and you start talking to them, what you get from these men is that, oh, you're incomplete. You're searching for that completeness, for that fulfillment outside of yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're legit searching for it outside yourself. And this is the conversation I've had many times. When you can't provide it for yourself, you go looking for it outside of yourself. And you could get it temporarily. That's why I always say, men, don't go looking for love, we stumble into it. And that's just how it is, you know? And you'll have a situation where a man literally is treating women like Band-Aids. So a woman could come into your life. She could check all your mental boxes. Check them all. Like, for instance, when I was young, I used to call it wifey material. Me and my friends would call it, oh, she's wifey material, mm-hmm. right? And then you be with them for a little bit, only to realize you're bored as hell. Or only to realize there is no such thing as wifey material. That's bullshit. It doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where until you're in a relationship with somebody,
Prince Charming doesn't exist, right? So wifey material on one side and Prince Charming is kind of the equivalent.
Right. It's assuming that you're going to find this perfect person that's going to fulfill you 100%. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't work like that because you could meet the person that, let's say, just to throw out some stereotypes, some what do you call it? She cooks, she cleans, she doesn't go out. She's she's cool, she's submissive. The word submissive is thrown around. You throw all those things out there, right? And then you look at the guy and he's cheating on her. Why is he cheating on her? Two reasons. Number one, obviously there's something within them that the relationship is not fulfilled. But number two, she's not the one. See, the problem is there's millions of people in this world that are married to somebody who is not the one, that have children with somebody who is not the one, that living right next to somebody who is not the one, right? So you'll get, women will ask the question, so then why, why do men cheat on good women? And, I did everything for him. I tried to be, a lady in the street and a freak in the bed, da da da. And we were together and he said he loved me. And I look at him dead in the face and I go, because you're not the one. It hurts. It hurts like a mother and it sucks. But you are not the one, because you know what? Check this out. You want to hear some great shit? I've known too many guys, right, that are with this wholesome, great woman that even makes money, that even it just provides enough, makes the household a home, the whole nut, right? Only to get cheated on by, excuse my language, and this is their words, not mine, some bum bitch, all right? Some chick that, doesn't work, maybe collects or does, some kind of off the government or whatever. And I'm not trying to downplay those people. I'm just saying the scenario that we were talking about. Somebody that collects a check, somebody that lives up the government, somebody that doesn't give a shit, somebody that's out there in the streets doing all this stuff, right? And they don't understand why. See, here's the deal. You may have filled off the mental boxes, but there was something within him that is attracted to that thing out there. That thing out there that doesn't fit the narrative, that doesn't fit the picture that people want for his life. You know what I mean? And then there's guys that they submit to what society thinks. They're in corporate America, so the look is very important. So what they'll do is they'll marry Mary Jane, right? But they want to be out there with Lolita La Loca, wilding out. You know what I'm saying? And they'll do that, and they'll figure, if I keep her happy, I provide for her, and I give her everything she needs, I just go get mine on the side.
I've come across way too many men like that.
I just go get it. Yeah. And you meet that type of person. See, women always ask me, why the side chick? Why the side chick? The way I thought about it was, and again, I'm not a saint, man. I've been that piece of shit. So I'm not coming to you like I'm a preacher or, man, you should do this. No, I've been the idiot. I've been the immature fucking guy that fucked up an entire beautiful life, right? Because I wanted to be happy. I wanted to be out there. I didn't want to be in a relationship anymore. You know what I mean? And yeah, there's some regrets. There's some things that I wish I would have done differently. You know what I mean? But I also acquired a lot of knowledge in that time period. See, the difference between a wife, or not a wife, but somebody who's invested in you, right? Let's put it that way. Somebody who's invested in you, a girlfriend, wife, a long-term relationship. It could be same sex. It doesn't matter. Somebody's invested in you. The difference between them and the side piece, all right, is I'll give you a scenario. You go out to a casino. It's 3:00 in the morning. It's your third drink. You're feeling a little nice. You're feeling tipsy. You're about 1,200 in on the craps table. Down. You're down 1,200 on the craps table. It's 3 in the morning. You have high blood pressure. Okay. The wife comes over, looks at you, and goes, "Yo, what are you doing? That's it. You're cut off. No more drinking. That's it. Stop drinking." Because she knows you have the high blood pressure. She knows that's no good for you. Stop putting money out there. That's it. Come on, let's walk away. Whatever. Why? Because that 1,200 represents something that goes towards the household. That represents you and her. That 1,200. You're invested together. It's 3 in the morning. She knows you need your sleep. She knows you have stuff you need to do. You know what I mean? She knows it's no good for your health to be up at that time. So she becomes what? The drag. She literally becomes the drag. Oh, this woman. Oh, no. Not realizing that, she's the one that actually loves you. The side piece, on the other hand. Oh, yeah, let's have 2 more drinks. 1,200. I just put like 200-300 more down. Don't worry about it. We'll win it back. 3. Oh my God, let's go eat. Let's go eat after this. Let's go to the diner. Let's keep it going. Let's keep the party going. Because she's not interested in you and doesn't care about you. She cares about keeping the party going and keeping the fun. I'm not invested in you. I'm invested in a good time. So she's in the moment. You know what I mean? And men, we're fools, right? We look at the woman that cares about us, that's invested in us as, oh, you're a drag, you're a nag. Why you always sweating me? And then we look at the other chick as, yeah, feed my ego. Feed my ego. Let's have fun. That's right, because I'm the man, right, baby? I'm the guy. And that's what she does. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, the ego is at the center of cheating. At the center of cheating. See, a long time after the time wears off, time passes, right? And the newness on a relationship wears off. And I know the real you, you know the real me, right? You can no longer fake the funk. I can no longer impress you with the bullshit. You know who I really am. You know what I mean? So when I act a certain way, you look at me like, yo, why don't you get your act together? What's wrong with you?
So full
right?
of shit. Yeah.
Right. As opposed to the side chick, she's like impressed. Oh my God, he's a baller. Oh my God, whatever. Not realizing, yo, our cable got cut off last week because I wasn't doing what I was. You know what I mean? Like there's a facade you can put up. With the woman that loves you, you can't put up the facade. So what happens? She starts to treat you like for who you really are. And you don't like that. And you start to feel like, well, when I'm around her, I act like this, and this is how she treats me. You know what? This chick over here, she treats me good. And before you know it, and here's the thing about cheating. Men plant seeds way before they ever cheat. They walk into a room, they see a beautiful woman. In that moment, they have no intention on cheating. None. Right? They're happy. But you know what they do? They plant a seed. Or better yet, not that day. The day him and his lady have an argument, and he shows up to that same situation, he plants a seed. And he's not planning to have sex with this woman right away or hook up with her. He's planting that seed because he's laying down the foundation so that in 3 months, future. 4 months, 3 months, 4 months, and now his situation is believable. So he'll say some shit, he'll get there, nah, I'm just stressing this chick, man. I pay all the bills. I do all this shit, and he could be lying 100%. I do all this stuff, and blah, I work so hard, and I attend to all her needs, and she's still, right? Now, the chick that's listening, especially if she's this type of woman, in her head, she's thinking, oh wow, she doesn't deserve you. Oh man,
you pay the bills.
Yeah, that's a bitch. Oh my God, I'm over here working, busting my ass, and she has a good man, and that's the kind of process that starts. So fast forward 3 months. 3 months now, I've been laying the foundation a little bit at a time. Now I come in and I'm like, yo, I need a double shot. Give me, nah, man, I'm done. Yo, I can't believe this shit. Da da da. And that's when you hear the woman say stuff like, oh my God, but you're a good man. I don't know. If you were my man, or you know what you needed, and da 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 da, right? And she makes the mistake of hooking up with you, right? And you link up, and guess what? A month later, she realized, oh, this guy was full of shit, and now she's moving up. So there's 1,000,001 reasons why men cheat, but a lot of it has to do with not really understanding what they are missing emotionally for themselves. You can't provide it. You could be, quote unquote, perfect. You could be perfect. And there's nothing you could do because cheating, like you said, is not about you. It never has been. Okay? Mm-hmm. It's about me fighting these demons and trying to figure out, what is it? Why am I so frail emotionally? Why am I not happy? Why am I not fulfilled? Why am I searching? I remember Tyler Perry, I was watching a Tyler Perry movie, and he dropped that 80-20 rule. And it was basically that a woman at her very best in a relationship could only provide a man maybe 80% of what he needs. There will always be that 20% that because he can't provide it himself, she can never provide it for him. She can't do it. So what does he do? He steps out of his marriage and he looks for a woman, and what does he do? He finds a woman that covers that 20%. Now he's with a woman that covers this 20%, and he feels, I got 100%. I got my wife at home. I got this out with this girl, and I got the side chick. That equals 100%. He's walking around happy. He's great. Everything is fantastic. Right? But then the wife finds out and she leaves him. And she doesn't take him back. And guess what? Now you're stuck with that 20%. And now you have a whole new appreciation for what she brought to the table, that 80% of what she offered your life, and you're literally stuck with this 20% chick that, cook for yourself. I don't cook, do this. I don't do that. What, do this? Hell no, I ain't that type of chick. You're like, Jesus Christ. If I would have just had my eyes wide open, I would have had the situation I wanted. And that's just one of the million reasons why men cheat. I hope for our viewers that we were able to kind of at least give you a little insight of what men are thinking when they step away. I'm not sure. We're definitely going to have to address this again. It's one of those topics that the deeper you dig, the more you realize just how nuanced or just how layered this topic is and how deep it goes. On Friday, I'll be doing the Hope and Wellness podcast, and I can get the psychological, part of it from Dr. Raphael, and she could explain what's the psyche, what's going on in a man's mind deep. Is it something from his childhood? Is it something that goes back? I mean, we can have those answers. But as far as what I feel comfortable talking about, this is where I get it. This is where my theories come from on why men cheat. MyaVibez, anything?
I think not to get into any psychological stuff and too deep, because I'm not an expert, but I have experienced this for myself, and I always try to look into why men do certain things, and it always stems from the broken relationships that weren't properly established in their life, right, in their background, whether it's because you didn't have good communications with your dad, whether it was because you saw your dad do that sort of thing, whether it's because your mom was a little too submissive and let you get away with stuff, and then now you think you can treat women like that. So there's definitely some sort of tie to their background in my experience. But you're right, I would love to know from the experts, from the psychologists, social workers, what drives these men to not have any kind of moral compass or responsibility, right? Because sometimes there are children involved, and these guys are just going off and doing their thing when they really should be paying more attention to their own kids. So yeah, I would watch that episode because I'm curious to know.
Well, we're gonna table that, and hopefully we do get some answers on Friday. Check it out. I'll be dropping that live stream with Dr. Raphael, the Hope and Wellness podcast. The next topic is something I found in my book that I wrote about in my book, and it's about a couple that grows together. Mm. So when I was researching for my book, and I don't want to give out exactly the number, but I had a lot of conversations about couples and losing their individuality, getting lost in the sauce of a relationship. And it's funny because I interviewed a couple of divorced women, and what you found was there was kind of a common thread outside of what caused their divorce. And post-divorce, there was a common thread. And what you would talk to them is they would say stuff like, I forgot who I was. I lost myself. I was so busy worrying about him, worrying about the family, worrying about the kids, that I forgot who I was. Either I gained mad weight, or I wasn't taking care of myself, wasn't doing my hair. I just wasn't who I am. I lost myself in the process, and I don't know how it happened. So I noticed that when people got divorced, that post-divorce question, that was one of the things. So then I started talking to couples that have been together a long time, that they expressed to me that they work, that they're happy. And I kind of asked them the question, like, how do you feel about yourself within the context of the relationship? What do you feel about your identity? And the people that worked said, yeah, I feel like I'm a person. He addresses the woman, and I'm able to feel like a woman. I'm not just a mom. I'm not just a wife. I am also you, the woman. You know what I'm saying? And I'm somebody that can have my own alone time, my free thinking time, my time to develop my own stories, so that when I do come back to this relationship, I have something to say, I have something to talk about outside of the house, the car, the kids, the food. I have something else to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And that communication as a woman was expressed to me that it fulfilled it. It would fulfill it.
Right.
Because now I'm able to talk and I'm able to have fresh stories. And then you talk to the men, and it was like, yeah, they needed that from their wife, from their girlfriend. They needed her to have her own life. Now, a lot of them, the problem was they had that machista attitude where they don't want to share her with the world. They want it all for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But they also wanted her. They didn't want to hear the same stories over again. They didn't want to hear the nag. They didn't want to hear the talking about the same old shit over and over again. And what you find is that you can't have it that way. If you want somebody, you want that part of the conversation, you have to allow her, not through permission, but allow her to develop her own life. So I came up with the chapter, A Couple That Grows Together. And it basically says, individually, you have to have time for yourself. You have to be able to step out into the world, discover new things, see new things, have new experiences. Now, this is on the basis of trust. I trust you, you trust me. We love each other. We're here because we want to be. We're committed. So
Right.
Go ahead. Go out with your friends. Have poker nights. Do what you need to do. Again, in moderation, because again, you have obligations. But go out, develop that life. So that when you come back to me, right, you remember who you were. And you can remind me of who you were. You know what I'm saying? That swagger comes back, that talk. Hey, man, you know what? I was out with these guys and jokes and laughter, and you have stories to tell. But also in terms of a career, in terms of work, in terms of education, whatever avenue you want to take for personal growth, you should take it. You see, one of the stories I have in the book is of a woman. Back in the day, she worked for Mary Kay. Okay, and it was supposed to start off as assignments, but she's super independent, very charismatic, and a great businesswoman, and it took off. And not only did it take off, but she rose to a very high-ranking person within that company, and it literally changed the dynamic of the family. It gave them opportunities. They lived a little better. They had better things. It really affected. They were able to go on nicer vacations. It affected the whole entire situation for the better. Well, the husband got in his bag and was like, "Nah, I don't like this. You're out there too much. I want my wife to be home. I need her to be with the kids. This bullshit." Da da da. And basically, when she said, "Okay, I picked my family," and she backed out of it, and before you know it, they're back to the everyday paycheck to paycheck struggling situation. And I saw that and I said, wow, if only this man had an open mind to allow her allow her within the relationship to be herself, to excel. To understand that her success is his success. That she's not going to turn around. But this is a mistake that a lot of women make. A lot of women make the mistake of they make 5, 10, 100, make whatever amount of money more than you. And all of a sudden they turn around and they cop an attitude like now they're the male energy.
Right.
In the family. And I always tell people, like, money doesn't dictate. And if it does, you have way bigger problems.
Way bigger problems.
Right. Who's the dynamic in the home? It should not. But so then I talked about that. And then I addressed, so not only should couples, men and women should grow, or a couple should grow independently, right? Like I said, because that allows for when the kids are gone to still have an identity and you're able to recognize each other and say, yo, our kids are gone, but I still love them. Our kids are gone. Because there's a lot of couples, once the kids are gone, I'm out. I'm not done with you. I don't like you. You know what I mean? And then it's the people that say, okay, cool. The kids are gone, but I saw glimpses of this along the way, and I fell in love with that person too. I love this growth. I like this. And I always say, you're supposed to love your partner like you love your children. You love your children at 5 years old the same you love them at 35 years old. The only thing is you have to adapt how you love them at each phase in their life as they grow. You look at your partner, they're not going to be the same when you two were 24, now that you're 35, 40, 55. Right. They're going to evolve as well, right? So you have to love them just like you love your children. I love you, at each different phase in your life. And again, there's going to be ups and downs, but you have to show that you love them at different phases in their life. So then I started thinking. So I was having a conversation with my neighbor. And my neighbor, I go to him, so what's the secret? He looks at me and goes, give me the usual answer. Oh, she's my peace, she's this, that, she's great, faithful, religious, God. All those answers that I've heard a million times. But then he said something really unique. He said, she makes me laugh.
Mm.
And once you said she makes me laugh, it kind of caught my eye. I was like, oh, because I love it. I love people that make me laugh. What do you mean? He goes, and this man is extremely wealthy. Here in Calgary, here in Florida, up in Michigan, one in Canada, all over the country. He has homes that he drops off and visits and stays at a couple months a year. And so he has a lot of money. He looks at me and goes, well, Mike, when I was young and poor and I had nothing to offer, we laughed. We would go out, we'd go to New York City, we'd go to Times Square, we would people watch, and we'd have jokes and laugh, and we cracked up. And I always loved his sense of humor. And then, as we grew, we were together, we would watch all kinds of movies, and it was always comedy. It was always centered around the fact that we like to make people laugh, and we like to laugh. And then now, for the last 20 years, minus the COVID year, we get in our Winnebago, just me and her, just us two, and we leave the grandkids, the kids, nobody's allowed to come with us, just us two, and we travel up to the Montreal Comedy Festival.
Oh, that's so
and
cool.
We spend 1 week there. That's just one of their vacations for the year. We spend 1 week there, just me and her, laughing our ass off. And I promise you, it feels like we're 25 again. Just laughing, reconnecting, recharging. And what I got from that was, oh, so what they did was they've always grown independently. They gave each other room to be who they are and grow. But they also have something in the center that bonds them. Something unique to their relationship that bonds them, that nobody else is allowed into. Not your kids, not your grandkids, not relatives. Nobody can go. This is ours. See, a lot of times people use religion for that vessel, volunteering, a business. I've seen people use all kinds of stuff, but what their common thread is that they have that one thing that bonds them, that keeps them together. And you look at that and you say, oh, that's what, during the hard times, that's what things aren't so great. When the in love phase is gone, that's what bonds you guys. You could always look, because she could be 95, can't walk, but she could still make them laugh. You know what I mean? And as a matter of fact, they're an older couple. They're somewhere 75, 80. He has a bad hip. She walks with a walker. But he still thinks to this day, she is the funniest person he knows.
No, that's so cool.
He does it all the time. And I feel like it's so important to have those two things. Growth individually, and that thing that you could center your life around that's unique to a couple that helps you grow together. Have you ever witnessed that? Have you ever seen a couple that's been in the church together, or they've been in volunteer programs, or they go dancing, they do ballroom dancing together?
Yes, you know what I mean? Yeah. I always look at people like that, and I do want to ask them, like, what's your formula? First of all, what brings two people like that together, and then secondly, what's the glue that keeps you together? Because I think those relationships are so beautiful. Like, I know I've been watching a couple of elderly people who just recently got married, and I think they are phenomenal, and they have fun together, and they do all of these things, and they just look like they have such synergy. It's so beautiful. And I always say, what's the secret? What is that? What is it about him and her? And I think maybe that's it. It's the laughter, and it's that commonality that you create, that synergy, between you, that is so unique to a couple. When I look at these young couples, I'm like, how adorable. I just came across a couple on Facebook. I was just scrolling, how you scroll through, videos, the live feeds, and they were in some place in Mexico doing all kinds of excursions, and their energy together looks so beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, how adorable is that? I said, in my next relationship, I want that. I want, somebody who's just as lively and just enjoys life and can do all kinds of things without, reservation. I think that it's so beautiful to me.
It's organic. That
Yes.
kind of stuff happens organically. It's not something that you look for. It's not something that you go chasing. It's
Yeah, yeah.
something that you discover because it was there organically, and then you cultivate it,
Yeah.
and then you build off of it. Like I literally know couples that, they love working in the church together, and that's what they do. That's their bond. Their bond is God.
Yeah.
That's what holds their bond together. And when things get tough and things get crazy, they recenter around God. But I
Mm-hmm.
also know people that recenter around laughter, recenter about that joy that they had. You know what I mean? I know people that recenter off of things that they had in common that they've been doing. I remember back when I was in college, I met this Indian couple, and they had been together like 43, 44 years. And I remember her telling me, his wife, saying that, I was like, I've always asked this question, what's the secret? And she would tell me, when we get really mad, we start playing cards. They play cards and they talk over playing cards. She doesn't say. She's like, we start to
Oh.
play cards and we just talk while we play cards. And we feel like because the card game is, winning and all that is on the table, that you're able to relax and let down a little bit of your guard and just let it out. I don't
Mm.
know how many people that works for, but it worked for them.
It worked.
And they were the cutest couple. On the other hand, like I said, you meet people that when people that get lost in the sauce within a relationship, they're in this relationship and you ask them, what's your favorite color? And they look at each other. I don't know. What's my favorite color? What do you want to eat? I don't know. What should we eat? Are we going to go? Now, there's a difference between asking each other, and being on the same page. I get that. You know what I mean? But there comes a point where you have to have your identity. You're not allowed to play
100%.
poker. I'm not allowed to do this. I'm not allowed to do that. Look, I'm not somebody that's going to sit here and preach, oh, you got to let them be whoever. No, sometimes you got to set your own boundaries as well. Because you give them an inch, people take them out. All of a sudden, you're like, yeah, you can go out. And now she's out every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night.
Playing bingo.
Yeah, bingo. That's not going to work. You know what I mean? On the other hand, there's times where, like, I look and I say, yeah, go. Enjoy your friends. Come back a little tipsy, a little frisky. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. Do that. You know what I mean? Enjoy that time. Or come back and tell me how, that bitch, oh, I can't even believe, you know what she's doing? And da-da-da. And come back with some gossip. That's fine. That's cool. Come back with something original to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Come back with something that you want to get off the chest that's brand new. You know what I mean? Don't come to me. We're talking, and you're just repeating the same shit I just saw because you don't go anywhere. I don't go anywhere. Like, yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I already know that. You know what I mean? And that's when you get people that start to bicker and get upset, get pissed off at each other. And it's like, yo, you know, I know a couple right now. They bitch and they moan when they're together. So bored. This is so stupid. He never wants to go anywhere. She never wants to go. Oh my God, she's so this. He's that. Da, da, da. Then the guy has to go on vacation because he has to go see family, or she has to go do something, and they're apart for a little while. And when they get back, oh, they're the most happy, beautiful couple. Dude, it's because you spent 24 hours a day together. Of course, you need that time away. You need that time to miss each other. You need that time to reconnect with yourself. So, like I said, when you come back, the bond is stronger. And you see that it's crazy. Now that leads me into the last part of the show, and it's a question from the inbox. The question from the inbox says, "It was dear dropping down. I want to have a poker night with my boys, with my guys. I rarely go out. I'm not going outside, but I want to have a poker night with my guys. Just recently, the girlfriends got together and they were like, well, we want to play poker too. So they took it upon themselves to cook some food, right? put together a really nice setup for the poker tournament, for the poker game, and sat in and played with us. It was freaking miserable.
Oh no.
It was annoying. It was miserable, and I don't want to repeat it. How do I tell my girl that she's not welcome, or neither are any of the other women welcome to our poker game?
You just say it.
Well, how would you want to hear it? Not just say it. How would you want to hear that answer? What would you want to hear?
I would want to hear honesty and transparency and have him say, honey, can I just have my time with my guy friends? Like the poker, I don't do anything. I don't, go out. And poker is just the one thing where I just want to relax and chill and have useless conversations with my boys.
So why don't you want to share it with me? I want to have fun too.
I listen, I'm that girl, but I cooked.
But yeah, look how nice it is. Yeah, no, let's play. Let's role play. You're the girl. Because I think your answer in an ideal world is perfect, but in reality, never works. That honesty bullshit never works.
I'd be like, but I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna buy chips. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And he's just like, I don't want to hang out with you. And I'd be like,
exactly.
Like,
and the truth is, for that 1 hour, 2 hours, all night, whatever that is, he doesn't want to hang out with you. He doesn't like you in that space. He doesn't like you, and he loves you. Remember, it goes back to that love and love. Yeah. He loves you, but he doesn't like you in that space.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, because his boys are there. I mean, who the hell wants to hang out with his girl and all his boys? Like, I understand that. But I mean, like I said, on the flip side, I've been there where I'm like, why can't I be there too?
No, I know. And my answer to him was, make it fucking miserable. Make it a miserable experience. So nope. Make it a miserable experience.
This food tastes horrible.
So she never wants to do it again. Make it exactly what it would look like without the bells and whistles. See, a poker night without the bells and whistles is a lot of smoke from cigars, getting blown in your face. Right? It's a lot of beer. It's a lot of burping. It's a lot of partying. Right? It's a lot of slow, methodical shit talking, rudeness between men. Right? It's a lot of rudeness between men, a lot of jokes, a lot of bullshit. Right? Shit that most women absolutely hate.
Oh, boring shit. Oh,
right. Yeah, you're sitting there.
You know how to start talking sports, and I'm like, peace out, I'm out.
Exactly. They want to start talking about, and a couple, and you just sit there, and that's what I told them. I told them, make it miserable for her. You sit there. Do not mention anything. Don't acknowledge her cooking. Don't acknowledge the beauty of what she set up. Don't acknowledge any of it. You act like you would act with your boys. It's slow. Sometimes go 10, 15 minutes without even talking. Just quiet. And when they start talking,
that would totally work. I'm going to tell you right now.
Them.
I think it's boring. I'm going to go watch
and take their money. That plus take their money. When you have a chance to make them go broke, make it an unpleasant experience. I'm telling you, all these people that are going to watch that are like, no, you have to be honest and open. If I look at you dead in the face and I go, yo, I don't want you here, man. You're annoying.
You're a jackass.
You're annoying. Not that you annoy me in real life, but in this space, you annoy me. I don't want you here. You know how resentful. Oh my God.
Really?
You'd be so mad.
Why me here?
Oh my God, you hate me. Why are you being
You're right, because I would just be like, really? When I make dinner tomorrow, I don't want you at the table. How's that?
Yeah, you're being a jerk, Dick. Oh my, you don't appreciate anything. You don't whatever. Which is funny because it's a chapter in my new book. A chapter in my new book talks about what men want, right? And then you'll have a woman give him so much more and so much better. And he doesn't appreciate it because he wanted what was simple. He didn't need all that, And that's the perfect example. You want to have a poker night with a lot of smoke, a table, cards, beer, your boys, talk shit, not talk at all, whatever, and just play. And then she's offering you food, decorations, conversation, and beauty and all this stuff, and a smoke-free environment. You know what I mean?
And a massage.
Right, all that stuff. And you're like, no, I don't want that shit. Go ahead with it. You know what I mean? So my answer to this man is make it miserable. Absolutely do not be honest. Do not be honest.
Don't be a
you
douche.
Will find yourself.
Don't be a douche.
You will find yourself.
I guess that could work.
In the freaking doghouse, unwittingly making her feel like you hate her. But she's going to think you hate her. She's not going to understand that you just dislike her in that context within the poker game. She's going to look at you and say, oh, you what? Oh, you think, oh my God. And she's going to take it so personally over the entire relationship that's how you feel. And the truth is, no. So you can't. As much as women, and I tell him, guys, women will give you advice, to be honest. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. That's not going to work. It's one of those little white lies that's going to save you a ton of torture. It's going to save you a ton of torture.
You're such an ass. I guess you might. Listen, I'm telling you. For me personally, as soon as men start talking about sports, it's like a buzz in my ear, and I'm like a loud buzz. I'm like, I hear nothing. I'm like, it's just bees buzzing. Blah, 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 blah.
It's like with me.
I'm sure when girls start talking about makeup, it's the same, kind of thing, right? So I would talk about sports. I'm out. Peace. You don't even have to.
No, there's a lot of women that are into sports, that are into it. And it's not so much being into sports. It's about the environment that we need when we are enjoying said things. For instance, like, my girl loves to hook up the Super Bowl. I love that. That's actually fun. The Super Bowl to me is an event. Yo, come over. Let's watch the game. Drip, chips. That's fantastic. That's amazing. But on a regular Sunday afternoon, get busy. Go do whatever you want to do. You want to just chill down on your phone? Do whatever. I'm watching this game at least for an hour or two. Let me just pay attention to this. I don't need food. I don't need drinks. I'm good. I'll get all that together for myself. No, I don't have to go to. I don't want to go to Bed Bath & Beyond. No, I don't want to go to Home Depot. I just want to sit here, just me, in peace, quietly.
Don't turn on the candle. Don't turn on the candle.
Yeah, I just want to be quiet, watch the game, and a lot of, what I'm saying. And again, you can't just look and be like, oh.
Let me tell you something. God bless the women that love sports, because Sunday nights or whenever the hell the game comes on, to me was torture. When I freaking tell you, I hated Sunday nights.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Or soccer or the World Cup or any of that crap, the basketball game, I was like, oh my God, I'm a sports widow. So I've learned to be the kind of woman where I'm like, oh, sports is on. It's like, well, I go off and I watch my shows.
Here's the thing. What do you call it? I know plenty of women that are just knowledgeable as I am, or a lot of my friends about sports.
That's what I said. God bless those women, but I'm not.
But I gotta have those conversations. And if they can if they understand what the environment, even let's say even at the poker table, let's say his wife or his girlfriend understood what it was, right? And he decides to have poker, and she comes in, sits down, just flows right in. Cool. What do you got? We have a comment. My hubby and I actually bonded over sports. I was raised on baseball, football, and my sister's playing soccer. I managed wrestling in high school and track and men's soccer at Kane. Yeah, Jennifer is one of the people I was just talking about. She's one of the people that I know that, when she drops comments, I could tell she could just slide in with the boys, just hanging out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The problem is when a woman comes in and tries to change the environment, the ambassador of the environment.
Listen, here's a scenario. I would walk into one of those environments and be like, anybody want chips? That's the first question, right? Then secondly, anybody need a refill on their drink or a beer? Anybody? You know what I mean? And then I would probably start asking questions about the sport. So how do they make a touchdown?
No, here's another key. Believe it or not, whenever your husband, right, or your man, or your whoever it is, gets into these social bonding situations with other men. See, men, we don't talk about in detail about our problems and our issues, which is we're learning. I see men evolving, and they're starting to be able to share and be vulnerable with other men. That's happening. But
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, when you get around your guys, you'll joke about stuff that hurts. You'll joke. You'll make comments about things that are stressing you, and whatever. And every now and then, you guys stumble upon something that you're going through that they're also going through. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that girlfriend or wife that wants to come to the poker game. Oh, you too? I can't stand that shit. And you stumble into this conversation, and it gives you that opportunity to vent to somebody that's kind of in your same mental space. They understand. Oh, you haven't had sex in 2 weeks either? Oh, man. I'm like always tired. You know what I mean? Then I said, let's put it this way. When we were dating, I told my husband that the term encroachment, not encroachment, poor Jets fan. Hey, me too. I'm a Jets fan. But yeah. So like, if you're
What does
able
that
to,
mean?
that's a football term. If you, yeah, like so there's also that bonding thing that men need, man. You're around other guys. There's that decompression, that stress. That sometimes you do. I've been in situations where I'm sitting with guys, and one guy comes out and he's like, "Yo, man, like, hopefully I get some ass tonight, or hopefully I take my wife on a date and we're able to hook up that night because man, she's so tired and working hard and blah blah." And then you hear another guy be like, "Oh man, me too. I'm going through that shit too." Da, da, da. And sometimes that bonding and that talking and understanding that you're not alone in that plight is what puts you at ease. And now cheating, none of that comes to mind because you realize you're not alone. This is just part of it. This is just part of a situation. And you're able to bond and you're able to talk. And when you come back to your wife or your girlfriend, and she's not like those women, and you're not going through some of those things those men are going through, guess what? Now you guys bond over that, and you appreciate what you have at home. Oh, my lady's not like that. She's amazing. Shit, let me treat her right because I could be in those shoes over there. You know what I mean? And with that, we're coming up on an hour. Ladies and gentlemen, MyaVibez has a lot of big things going on business-wise. So I am looking to establish a podcast relationship with somebody that has a lot of the same traits that she has. She's still going to be contributing. We're still going to be having shows together over the course of time. But I'm also looking for somebody, and it's going to take more than one woman to fill her shoes. So I'm going to open it up to possibly doing a podcast with two women and myself. Okay. Whatever your sexuality is, that doesn't matter. Love is love. Relationships are relationships. You'll be able to, give me your point of view. I need somebody who's opinionated, somebody who's reliable, consistent, and most importantly, somebody that comes through with original thought. Basically, somebody that's going to come to me and formulate their own opinion, not something they found on the web or they read in a magazine. They're literally going to have something from their own mind that they're going to want to drop weekly and that they're going to want to talk about. I also don't need experience. You don't have to have experience. I'm willing to work with somebody that's going to talk, and I'll show you the ropes on, what we're looking for, and eventually you'll be able to catch fire and find your voice. That's second. And last but not least, if anybody on Facebook is not on Facebook, by all means, please send them my Instagram. It's Mr_dropping dimes. Mr_dropping dimes on IG, or man dropping dimes 420 at Gmail. All right, reach out to me. It's a couple easy steps. We do a rehearsal. I meet you. We rehearse to see if there's chemistry, and then we'll set up a time to see what works for you. And as long as you're consistent and you're into it, not everybody's going to qualify. Not everybody's going to come across as the person that I need. So I'm not going to accept just anybody. But I'm really looking for that person. So if you know anybody opinionated, bright, somebody that's dedicated, somebody that really has been wanting to dip their toe in this world, by all means, let me know. All right. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are Out of here.
Yes.
Take it easy, people.